In this video, I'm going to be showing you a simple tour of the Squarespace interface and how to get around it to the different sections of the site. To start off, I want to explain this little left bar over here, this gray bar. There is a total of 6 options over here. And here, the first one up here, this little eyeball, this lets you preview the website. When you click on this, it's actually going to show you what your Squarespace site looks like when it's actually rendered in a browser and someone is actually viewing your site. The next one is the Content Manager. This is where you're actually going to change the different content on your website and change everything. Now you notice this is my home page, and the Content Manager, it kind of looks a very simple layout because it's not actually rendering any of the style or the design that you put on your site. So when you're in the Content Manager, you're seeing kind of a very basic grid-like layout of your website. And then when you go to previewing your site, you actually are going to see what that looks like on the front page of your site. The third option we have here is Activity. This is your stats, your analytics, the information about the visitors that are coming to your website. The fourth one here is Settings. So this is where you go to change any administrative settings, to add new contributors to your website, to link your domain, or to change any of the overarching settings on your website. The fifth one here is Commerce, and if you're doing any sort of e-commerce, you're selling products on your website, doing anything along those lines, this is where you're going to configure all of the e-commerce functionality around your site. And then last, here is a little help icon. And if you're struggling with any features, you have a problem with your site, your billing, you can't get something working, this will take you to Squarespace's help forums, where you can submit a ticket, chat live with a Squarespace customer care representative, and they will help point you in the right direction. They're not going to necessarily offer training for you or fix something for you, but they can help answer some of your questions or point you to the right spot. So any of these we go to, if we click on Settings, you'll see that there's this whole list of the new options underneath it. So we have basic information, it's general, time, domains, overlays, templates, billing. So when we go through Settings, we have the option to scroll through this whole second column right here. And it's the exact same kind of thing when we go to the Content Manager here. We have the ability to kind of scroll in the second column, and this kind of lets you choose from all the options that are within this. So when you're in the back end of Squarespace, you're in this Content Manager here. This is really where you're going to how you're going to kind of navigate around and go to your different options, your analytics, everything along those lines. Squarespace's interface is really categorized by this overarching column here. Then you have this sub column right here, and then here's the actual content or the settings that you're changing or viewing. Now all of this is pretty simple, it's all pretty straightforward, except the preview button is the one button that acts a little differently. While when you go to the content editor, you're looking at your content, and you can click on your different pages here and look at all the different pages and everything you have created. When you go to the preview option, this is actually going to take you to the front end of your website so you can see what that website looks live. So when we click on this, we're going to go here, and now this is what our website currently looks like. As you see, it still has all of the site filler content. We haven't changed the site title. We haven't added our own content to it. But here you now see there's that pick buggy that we had typed in. Here is all the content that they had added in. And then here's where I had typed in, we can change this text down here. So this is what the actual front of the site is going to look like. And you can navigate around and look at any of these pages that you want to throughout this process. And now one thing I want to point out is that when you're here on your website and you're scrolling around and you're looking at it on preview mode, you're going to notice down here in the bottom right hand corner is this little thing that says your name, log out, and it has these three icons. So it has a pencil, which allows you to edit the content. So if I wanted to go in here and edit the content on this page, I could click a pencil and that would put me in edit mode. I have the paintbrush, which I'm going to dive into further, but this is actually going to be where we do a majority of the style and design on our website. So we click on this paintbrush and it allows us to change the style, the colors, the general features of the site. And then we have this gear icon, which is going to go allow you to manage the site. And when we click this gear icon, it's going to take us right back to the Squarespace backend, where we can go back in, change our settings, change our content, do any of this. And that is really the core of how you're going to move around Squarespace. You know, using basically these different tabs here to go through your options, and then previewing your website, and then going back to the back end to make changes to your website. Using this kind of interface of going back and forth is really the core of how you're going to navigate and get around Squarespace.